where unity is the ultimate weapon, but also the most cruel death sentence. From a labyrinth of locking down enemies on land to the silent tragedy of disappearances beneath the river, will political acumen or bloodthirsty instinct determine the last survivor? Don't blink, for Savannah never forgives mistakes. The unstoppable pursuit. The pack of wild dogs locks down their enemy. Dawn in the Okavango Delta doesn't begin with the chirping of birds, but with the silent movement of speckled shadows. In the dim light of early morning, the African wild dogs awaken with a single goal: survival. They don't possess the majesty of lions or the speed of cheetahs, but something far more terrifying: an extreme level of unity. Each individual in the pack is a cell of a perfect hunting machine, where the individual ego completely disappears to give way to the will of the pack. The hunt begins with a strange ritual, a series of synchronized sneezes like a bloody pact signed before setting off. As the sun began to scorch the dry grass, an unexpected scenario unfolded. A female hyena, the alpha, carrying the arrogance of a seasoned thief, recklessly infiltrated the core of the pack just as they had brought down a prey. The hyena believed that its jaws, capable of crushing bone and thick skin, would make the wild dogs hesitate. It snarled, lowered its center of gravity, and approached the carcass with a defiant expression. But its calculations were wrong from the very first moment. The alpha male of the pack did not retreat. It merely slightly curled its lips, revealing its sharp white teeth. An invisible signal was emitted, and suddenly, the space around the hyena was constricted. The hyena began to feel its unease as its living space shrank centimeter by centimeter. Each time it tried to leap to break free, a wall of sharp teeth rose before it. The climax erupted from all sides, relentlessly striking the hyena's weakest points. The hyena's cries turned into agonizing screams. It realized it was no longer a hunter, but a prisoner being slowly executed in an inescapable maze. Finally, the hyena was forced to release its prey in utter humiliation. It crawled away, its legs trembling, to escape the encirclement, bearing scars that would never heal, a reminder of the power of unity. The pack of dogs stood there, silently watching the defeated disappear into the hazy dust, before they together savored their victory in the terrifying silence of their ruler. The battle on the grassland had ended with the victory of iron discipline. But in this land, the smell of blood never attracted just one type of enemy. As the pack of dogs busied themselves with their spoils, they were unaware that from the muddy swamps, a pair of dull yellow eyes had been observing the entire scene. After the predators had been driven away, a rare silence returned to the pack. At this moment, survival instinct gave way to maternal instinct. The adult dogs didn't eat all of their share. They hastily devoured large chunks of meat, not for digestion, but to carry back. In a deep underground den not far away lay the sole reason for their ferocity, the puppies. These were tiny creatures with unformed, speckled fur, their birth the result of a strict hierarchy where only alpha pairs had the right to perpetuate the species. The cubs emerged from the den with innocence, licking the adult's lips to stimulate vomiting. Looking at this scene, few would have imagined that those who had just torn apart an antelope could be so gentle and patient. This was the most peaceful moment in Savannah, where pack love became the strongest wall protecting the next generation. However, the setting sun brought with it a cruel command. The den had been exposed to the smell of blood, and to ensure safety, the pack had to migrate to the other side of the river, where the denser bushes offered greater security. After a long, tiring day of pursuit and confrontation, the dogs' legs were heavy. They advanced towards the riverbank, where the murky water flowed swiftly, concealing millennia-old secrets. The pack formed a long line. Amidst the rushing water, the discipline of the pack became fragile. At that very moment, beneath the eerily still waters, a shadow began to move. There was no growl, no warning. A colossal Nile crocodile, starving throughout the dry season, had spotted its opportunity. The crocodile observed the pack of wild dogs from below the surface. It didn't choose the strong alpha, nor the vigilant ones at the front of the pack. It waited for the moment when the pack was most complacent, when they had stepped into the water and believed themselves safe in the current. The river remained calm, the wind still rustling through the reeds, leading the pack to believe the only danger lay on land, where lions or hyenas lurked. Each wild dog followed suit, wading into the river. When the water reached their chests, their movements became more difficult and slow. Suddenly, a gigantic dark shadow emerged from the bottom, clamped its jaws around its prey, and dragged it down into the abyss. The pack remained unnoticed. One by one, individuals began to vanish into thin air. Each ripple on the water's surface locked a life in place. The pack of wild dogs, who had just moments ago been masters of the land-based maze, were now utterly helpless and panicked in the bottomless river. The river had collected its blood tax. The migration seemed to have ended when the last individuals reached the shallow water near the shore. But the river wouldn't let them go so easily. Just as a young wild dog managed to reach the mudflats, the water behind it erupted. A bite locked onto its hind leg. Panic ensued as the adult dogs frantically struggled to snatch their comrade back from the jaws of death. But it was impossible. Even if it escaped the jaws of death, the dog could not survive. Silence returned, but the loss was irreparable. The pack of wild dogs, now only half its original size, stood trembling on the banks of the newly formed river, where the darkness of the jungle awaited them. But nature doesn't allow for long periods of grief. As the moon reached its zenith, a distant howl echoed from the depths of the forest, signaling that the real hunt had only just begun. Could the pack survive the night, their numbers halved? The most terrifying secret lay beyond those trees. If the unity of the wild dogs was built on absolute loyalty, and the ferocity of the crocodiles stemmed from fossilized instincts, then in another corner of the savannah, there existed a pack based on intelligence and calculation. It was a place where the line between predator and prey was blurred by skillful hands and cunning minds. Leaving the deadly river, we entered the territory of one of the kingdom's most extraordinary entities. The baboons. They are not pure predators, but they are masters of chaos. A troop of monkeys can number up to 100 individuals, operating like a miniature society with strict rules and a clear hierarchy of power. Despite their somewhat noisy and chaotic appearance, when in hunting mode, they become a true army. Their weapons are their superior aerial vision and sophisticated tactical coordination. Observe how they approach a stray young antelope. There's no loud howling or shouting typical of baboons. The largest males, possessing tusks longer and sharper than those of leopards, will silently spread out, forming a tight encirclement. In the baboon world, this encirclement doesn't come from speed, but from positional dominance and the ability to predict the prey's movements. When the time is right, the encirclement suddenly narrows. They use the strength of their hands to subdue and tear apart the prey while it's still conscious. This is a brutal scene, a testament to the terrifying pragmatism of natural intelligence. The unity you just saw in the baboon troop is actually just a thin veil concealing a furnace of conflict within. In the baboon world, dominance isn't built solely on muscle, but on a cunning political system. When the leader fails to inspire confidence in the pack members and trust is shaken, the power structure automatically triggers a process of elimination. A young, powerful, and arrogant male begins to employ sophisticated psychological warfare tactics. Science calls this the strategic alliance formation strategy. The old order has been shaken by a flawless plan, but he hasn't become the new king, nor has he achieved victory. When isolation reaches its breaking point, the atmosphere within the pack thickens, signaling an irreversible change. Without hesitation, the young male charges forward like an arrow. He doesn't attack blindly, but aims directly at the highest point of the cliff, where the old king stands. The subordinate males, who had just recently been groomed by him, now stand still, watching the old king be defeated in humiliation. The battle ends quickly but bloody. The old king is thrown to the ground. The new king stands atop the throne, his chest heaving with triumph, officially establishing a new dynasty with brutal power and ruthless intelligence. The old empire has fallen. A new king has ascended. But in this world, the one at the top is always the target of the most silent assassins. The sun sets, painting the swamps of Okavango red. In Savannah, peace is a luxury amidst the breaths of death. Whether it's the unwavering unity of the wild dogs, the silent matrix of the crocodiles, or the political acumen of the monkeys, all are merely pawns in the great game of survival. Today's ruler may be tomorrow's prey. Because in this kingdom, the real luck lies not in claws, but in a cruel rule. There is never an escape for those who stop. Don't miss the next episode to see who will be the last one standing. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the fateful showdown in the next episode.
In a place where death lurks at every step, will they have enough strength to stand up and survive another day? Wild Botswana. Wild dogs survive after a fierce battle. In the middle of the burning Okavango Delta, the dry wind blows through the broken yellow grass stalks. Under the scorching sun of Botswana, fragile life still clings to every inch of land. In a place where blood and dust mix together, there is only one law. The strongest is not the most brutal, but the one who knows how to unite to survive. After a bloody confrontation with the leopard, the African wild dogs retreat in silence. They carry with them the scent of the fallen and the wounds of their kind. Victory is not sweet, only the breath is deep because of prolonged hunger. The ground is cracked, the water has dried up. This time of year, all creatures become harsh, and the dogs understand that only discipline can keep them from the edge between life and death. They move as a unified flow. Each step is regular, ears perked up listening to every movement around the grassland. Not a bark, no chaos. Each individual knows his place, the leader, the besieger, the rear guard. The silence is not fear, but the ancient language of a species that has learned to coexist over thousands of years of evolution. In the distance, a lone wildebeest is separating from the herd. Its body is tall and strong, but its legs show signs of fatigue. A rare opportunity in a long hunger. Big prey, big risk of predation. The dogs carefully lower their bodies, scattering in an arc. The leader's eyes flash, the signal to start a hunt. They rush like the wind, simultaneously turning their sharp points towards the prey. The The wildebeest roared, turning its body, horns lowered, ready to fight back. The first meal after many days of hunger. They ate together. Each one had his turn. Even the pups had their share. That was the order and the true strength of the pack. When their bellies were full, the pack split up. Between the roots of the trees, the pregnant female would leave the pack, looking for other lands. In the world of wild dogs, giving birth is a lonely but sacred journey, instinct guiding every step, from digging a burrow to hiding her scent to avoid predators. About 70 days after conception, the pack fell silent in the hours of waiting. Then, in the quiet of the night, a faint breathing sound echoed underground. The pups were born, small and almost helpless. During the first weeks, they hardly left the burrow. Their eyes only opened after 2 weeks. The mother rarely left, living on the prey brought back by the other members. In the African wild dog pack, every individual contributed to raising the new generation. The males bring food from a distance, regurgitating it for the mother and pups to eat. The other pups stand guard, alert for danger. It is this bond that makes them one of the most tightly knit social systems in nature. When they are a month old, the puppies begin to crawl out of their burrows, toddling on their weak legs. They learn to play, chase each other around the tree roots. Their first lessons in reflexes, speed, and pack order. The new life breathes a different energy into the pack, peaceful, bright, and hopeful. However, in Botswana, peace never lasts long. The dry season is approaching. The moisture in the air is depleted. The last mud puddles are about to disappear. As the last moisture in the air gradually dissipates, the Okavango Delta begins to change color. The mud puddles are cracked. The ground is as dry as stone. Further downstream, where the remaining water flows, life is still trying to cling. And there, another one is waiting. Water, the only hope of the dry season, is the most dangerous place. Beneath the calm, dark surface of the water, something older than dogs lurks, a creature that has existed since the steppe was covered in prehistoric mist. The Nile crocodile, the most patient ambush hunter on the planet. They do not chase, do not make noise. Each bite is a death rising from the depths of the water. The body is more than 4 meters long, weighs nearly half a ton, perfectly hidden in the murky brown water of the plain. The thick, rough skin, like a prehistoric armor, reflects the sunlight into cold steel scales. The glowing yellow eyes float above the water, motionless for hours. But behind that silence is a hunting machine with ruthless precision. The teeth are enough to crush large bones or turtle shells in a single bite. Hundreds of conical teeth grow in 2 thick rows, constantly replaced throughout life, ensuring that this weapon never becomes dull. No creature can escape that terrifying pressure. But the crocodile is more than just a killing machine. It is a symbol of patience and balance in the ecosystem. The wild dogs have never retreated before any land predator. But water is an unfamiliar territory. Thirst makes them take risks. In the heat of nearly 40 degrees, water is the only thing more important than food. One by one, they step down to the riverbank, hastily drinking water to rest. They do not realize the danger approaching. In that moment, the water exploded. Roars, mixed with barks, rang out. Foam, mud, and dust flew up in the air. With a single bite, the dog was pulled deep into the water. Only spreading circles remained. The whole pack stood still, not barking, not running. The leader retreated, his eyes heavy. They understood that this water did not belong to them. In Botswana, life always came at a price. Under the murky water, the crocodile slowly returned to the riverbed. It did not know the name of the dead man, nor did it care. In this world, whoever was thirsty, whoever was weak, whoever was a step behind, would become a meal for someone else. On the dry, cracked ground, as the panic faded, the pack of wild dogs left in silence. The afternoon sun fell, dragging the shadows along the scorched grass. Life once again retreated to a state of waiting. Only the smell of blood lingered on the water's edge, spreading in the hot wind. Further, among the low reeds, another figure appeared. Small, walking lightly. But with a sharp and calculating gaze. Chacal, the jackal of the savannah, who always knew how to take advantage of others' mistakes. Not as strong as a lion, not as agile as a leopard, Chacal survived thanks to intelligence. Its every move was a balancing act between danger and opportunity. Its large ears pricked up, picking up every sound, while its wet, sensitive nose tracked the scent of those who had just left. In the world of chacals, the last to arrive was not the weakest, but the wisest. He inched his way to the river's edge, where the wild dog had sunk. The scent was still strong in the wind, and there, perhaps, lay the reward for someone bold enough. But Chacal was in no hurry. He stopped, raised his head, and looked at the mirror-like surface of the water. His yellow eyes reflected his own, and his instinctive fear. Down below, the shadow of death was still drifting. Chacal took a few steps back, then turned away. He knew that the river always reserved its share. But further away, where the antelope herds moved across the drying savanna, other food awaited. Dawn dyes the Okavango Delta a golden yellow. Dew lingers on the grass, and the first insects of the day mingle with the bird song that echoes across the steppe. In the dim light, the chacal has long since risen. Ears erect, wet nostrils quivering, it hears and smells everything. Today, there are no more carcasses to scavenge. Today, it must hunt for real. Ahead, among the grass, a flock of guinea fowls are foraging. Their blue-gray plumage glitters with white. Their heads are bare. Their crests are small like crowns. They move in large numbers, bustling and noisy, unaware of danger. For the chacal, this is the perfect meal. Compact, high energy. Low risk. It lowers itself to the grass, tail flicking gently to maintain balance. Every muscle is tense, like a bowstring about to snap. Chacal lacked speed, but he made up for it with calculation. He knew how to wait, observe, and choose the right moment. In the flock, if only one bird broke away, everything would begin. Guinea fowl was busy preening its wings, a few beats slower. That was the signal. Chacal crept up step by step, absolutely silent. The wind was favorable. The tall grass covered half its body. The distance was now only a few meters. A jump. Jackal rushed out. The flock flapped its wings wildly. Chacal stopped, standing in the middle of the open grass. It was not angry. Not disappointed. Just quietly watching the direction the flock flew away. In this world, failure is not the end. It is just part of the rhythm of survival. In Botswana, wisdom is sometimes more valuable than strength. And in a land where life is measured by breath, the smallest hunter, the chacal, still quietly asserts its position, with patience and ancient wisdom. The sun has risen high, the harsh white sunlight pouring down on the grassland like fire. All creatures retreat into the shade. The chacal also lies under a dry acacia tree, listening to the rustling wind. In the sweltering heat of noon, hunger returns, smoldering and persistent. This time, the chacal does not hunt alone. The pair have been together for many years, raising their young and protecting their territory. At the edge of the grassland, a new opportunity comes. A small antelope, standing in the undergrowth. Its mother had left to find water. Chacal walked slowly, crouching low to the ground. A swift bite, painless, without a cry. In the distance, the sun is gradually setting, covering the grasslands in a red color. Everything looks strangely peaceful. The pack of wild dogs, after so many losses, continues their journey, constantly moving, constantly searching. Each of their steps is a testament to the strength of solidarity, to the spirit that never gives up in adversity. The crocodile still patiently plays its role, ensuring that no life is wasted in the ecological circle. And the chacal is the delicate balance of nature. It cleans up the remnants of life, keeping the plains from being filled with the smell of death. Every species in this world, big or small, fierce or weak, holds its own place. Inseparable links in the endless music of life. No one is insignificant. No victory is eternal. What about you? If you stood in the middle of this land, where survival is measured by every breath, which species would you choose to become? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to continue exploring other spectacular survival stories with us.